Hi everyone, it's Lisa. Today on DoodleDrawArt, we're going to draw Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King from The Nightmare Before Christmas. So the first thing we're going to do is turn our paper because he's such a tall character that I'm going to need lots of room for his body. So I'm going to turn my paper this way. I think we can see the whole thing. Yeah, let's move it down a little bit here. Okay, there we go. I won't go off the page now. So what I'm going to do is the same thing I always do, which is place the character on the page. And I'm going to start off by putting his chest here. This is the most substantial part of his body, just this chest. Hopefully you can see these faint sketch lines that I'm drawing. And then his torso is thin in this direction here. And from there, we're just going to have the end of his body and his long legs. So we're going to have one really long leg coming this way. I'm going to draw this image. He's going to be walking. And then another really long leg just coming down behind here and off to the back a little bit. So his knees are a little bit more than halfway down his leg. So you can see that we've just got these little bends. So start off with that much and get the lines of Jack established here. And then you're going to show where his arms are going to be. So I'm going to draw this pose where he's just kind of holding one hand up, like saying something like ta-da or something here, holding his hand out. And then the other hand, I'm going to draw the elbow coming down and the hand coming in toward his chest. And from there, just a small neck and a small head. So this is why I turned the page the way I did, because his head is this small, even though his body is this big. So now we're going to get into doing some of the details here. And we'll look at maybe the shape of his head. All right, so his head is just a circle. And I'm just going to draw, it doesn't even need to be a particularly good circle because he is a cartoon character. It can really be any shape at all. Circular shape, because he could be turned slightly to one side or the other. So the way this one ended up, I see he has a little bit of a cheek right here. So I'm actually going to draw his face turned a little bit sideways. If it was a perfect circle, I could draw his face in any place at all, but I like the way this one ended up, so I'm just going to go with it. And so here's going to be his big smile, just coming across like this. And then he's going to have little lines coming out like teeth. So just little tiny lines up and down. Not too big, not too many. And they don't have to line up. Sometimes they do, but they don't have to line up with each other. And just out like this to the edges. Great. All right, so now Jack has two oval eyes, and they're going to be sort of more toward the top of his head. Wow, more toward the top of his head like this. And so I'll just draw these ovals in. And they're kind of slanting up. He's sort of feeling happy, I guess. And then here we're just going to draw two tiny little ovals for his nostrils. And they're super small, so try to do your best to not make them too large. Now, this will be colored in black when we're finalizing this, and so will the insides of his nostrils. So that's great. So now let's think about his hands for just a minute. At the end, I'm going to work on hands because I want to do detailing in here, but I want the hands to be prominent. So first I'm just going to thicken up this line here for his forearm and for his tricep. All right, so, and it's really quite pointy. He's such a thin, and he's just a skeleton, right? No flesh at all. So for his hand, what you want to do is draw a little, like the indication of bones here. So one little shape here for the wrist bone, and you can just do another little bone shape here for the main part of his hand. And then we're just going to draw his thumb. So from this perspective, the thumb is on the top side, and we're just going to draw little skinny rectangles. And so the thumb has 1, 2, and then 3 bones. So we're going to draw a rectangle here, and then that's this one. Then we're going to draw another rectangle, maybe bent a little bit to the side here. And then a third rectangle, but this one's going to be more actually a triangle. I said rectangle, but it will be a triangle. So there's one. And then he's going to just have his other 4 fingers, but in cartoons they usually only have 3. So long skinny fingers now. So rectangle, rectangle, triangle, and another finger, rectangle, rectangle. This one's a little longer, triangle. And they can be kind of crooked because, you know, he's a skeleton. He's not going to be perfect. Rectangle, rectangle, triangle. All right, so that would be his hand. And now we're going to look in here at the shape of his collar. So I wanted the hand to be a visible detail, but I want to now put the collar in. So his long skinny neck ends in a bat shape here. So we're going to have a bat head at the bottom of his neck. So a curve for the top of the bat's head, and then bat ears that go up really tall, just skinny lines pointing up. And then there's going to be a little section here where we're not going to color. So we're going to leave ovals of white. And then the bottom of the bat's head is just a V shape. So in behind this thumb is going to be the bottom of the bat's head. And then we're just going to come out with bat wings. So pretty long, out this way and out this way. And then we're just going to have like curves in to create 3 points. So 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then back up. And same thing on this side, we're going to have 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then back up. So these come back in and they touch right in at his collarbone. Collarbone, because he's bony. All right, so this is going to be, I'm just coloring this in a little bit so we can see more detail. This is going to be his collar. And then the rest of it's really not hard at all. We're going to draw in the open shape in the middle of his tuxedo. So we're just going to come down from this bat's mouth or bat's head and come down toward a point here. And the same thing's happening on the other side, down toward a point. So this is the opening of his tuxedo. And then because this is such a dark image, we're not really going to see the all the details of his lapel, etc. All right, so we have another hand up here. We can add some details into this hand. So let's do the same thing that we did over here. We did a wrist bone and a hand bone. And then we're going to draw his hand like he's got some sort of ta-da sort of thing going on here. So the first bone for the thumb is going to come out pretty far to the side, and then curving up for the second one, and then a little triangle. And then this finger is pointing quite open far, so it's going to have one bone this way, another bone coming up, and a triangle to the side. And then these two fingers are kind of curving in front. So here we're going to go like this, 2 rectangles, and then the third one is going to bend in front. And this last one, we're only going to see a curve this way, and then a bend in front. So once you've got that, you can erase the little lines from the back finger in there. Those are going to go away when we do our final lines anyway, because I'm going to be using my ultrafine Sharpie for his hand detail, just so that you can see it easily without smudging. If you use your fine point Sharpie, it's going to be too bulky for these details. Okay, great. So now his coat is going to hug in around his chest, because really this chest of his is only just bones being covered. And so then his tuxedo is going to have some long fringy bottom pieces. So I'm just going to draw these. They're kind of wispy. He's been hanging around quite a long time getting tattered. So this is going to be in the background. So these lines, when we're coloring, will be covered by this little skinny leg. So let's just draw the bottom of his front body. This is the front of his body. And then his leg is going to come straight down from here. So I'm just going to thicken this right up and down the side here. So now we have his leg and his foot. And the same thing on this side. We're going to match this over here. His leg is going to come all the way down to this spot here. I mean, you could draw these as rectangles. I'm just having fun coloring them in for some reason today. But yes, draw a little rectangle shape for this. And then the bottom of his pant leg. And then his little shoe is down here at the bottom. Tiny little feet in shoes. All right. So this is all of the basic line work for Jack Skellington. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back over this with my ultrafine point Sharpie for the finer details in and around here. And then I'm going to color in with my permanent fine point Sharpie, and I might just go back with a little bit of gray and add some dimension into the white areas just to give it a dark and dirty look. So I hope you enjoyed watching me draw Jack Skellington today. I hope you drew him too. This was actually a request. So if you have a request for me, you could let me know in the comment section below what you would like for me to draw next. And please click like if you liked watching this video, and be sure to subscribe for more DoodleDrawArt. Thanks for watching.